If you're going to survive in the wild, it helps to know the difference between a deadly snake that kills with venom versus one that kills by constriction. After all, there are some big differences between the two, and knowing them could help you save your own life someday. In this episode of Animal Logic, we'll be looking at how both kinds of snakes go about killing their prey and which method we think is more effective. So let's get into it. First off, let's look at venomous snakes. There are around 360 species of venomous snakes across the globe, which account for around 25% of all snake species. Venomous snakes can be found almost anywhere from Africa to Asia, and even here in the United States. You may have heard of the different types of snake venom before, because they can vary widely in terms of what they actually do. Some, like the boomslang, inject a venom that causes severe bleeding, whereas others, like the black mamba, have neurotoxic venom that attacks the nervous system. This variety is actually one of the reasons why it can be so dangerous to try to identify a venomous snake without expert knowledge. Now, usually when you hear about venomous snakes, you probably imagine an extremely fast-acting venom that will kill its victim almost instantly. And while that is true for some species, it's not true for all. For example, researchers have recorded that the slow-acting venom of the saw-scaled viper can take up to 12 hours to cause death. And the time it takes for a venomous snake to kill its prey also depends on the size of the prey itself. Researchers studying boomslangs found that these snakes inject more venom into larger prey items, and therefore it would take less time for the venom to take effect compared to smaller prey. When a venomous snake bites its prey, it usually only needs to release a small amount of venom in order to kill it. So even if the snake doesn't eat the animal it just bit, the venom will still take effect. However, some species of venomous snakes do consume their prey whole, and in that case, they need to wait until the venom has had enough time to paralyze the animal's muscles so they can actually swallow it. For instance, researchers observed that reticulated pythons waited an average of 27 minutes after biting their prey before trying to eat them. So when it comes to speed, venomous snakes tend to bite and then wait for a while before eating. But what about constrictor snakes? Let's take a look. There are around 400 species of constrictor snakes worldwide. Like venomous snakes, they can also be found in almost every part of the world. Unlike venomous snakes, though, most constrictor snakes are not actually venomous. Instead, they rely on constriction to kill their prey. In other words, they squeeze their prey to death. Constrictors typically hunt down prey by using their excellent sense of smell to track it. Once they've found something worth eating, they sneak up on it and then grab it in their jaws and try to swallow it whole. Sometimes, however, the prey is too large to be eaten whole, and so the snake has to kill it first. And since they don't have venom to help them out, they use constriction. You might think that being squeezed to death wouldn't be a very quick way to go, but it turns out that many animals do and live for long after being caught by a constrictor snake. The first thing a snake will do once it has grabbed onto its prey is coil up its body and start squeezing it tightly. The snake will then continue squeezing its prey while it swallows it. A single squeeze from a large constrictor snake can reach up to 75 pounds of pressure. And these snakes can squeeze several times per second, which means that their prey are often suffocated or have their bones broken within just a few minutes. But there's one thing constrictor snakes have to watch out for. See, when a snake squeezes another animal, it also puts pressure on its own body. If the snake squeezes too tightly, it could actually end up hurting itself. Now, luckily for constrictor snakes, they have evolved to sense when their bodies have been squeezed too tightly. They do this by sensing the amount of stretch on their body wall and then using this information to adjust how hard they squeeze. The speed at which a snake kills its prey by constriction also depends on the size of the meal. Researchers observed Burmese pythons in the wild and found that they took between 2 and 45 minutes to kill their prey. Smaller prey took less time to kill than larger prey, just like with venomous snakes. Now, so far, we have seen that both venomous and constrictor snakes rely on speed to help them capture their food. But which method do we think is better? Well, we think it depends on the situation. For venomous snakes, their venom tends to be more effective on land, where the snake has an easier time biting its prey than in water, where there is more of a risk of missing or delivering a lethal blow. Constricting, on the other hand, works well in both environments. While a snake is constricting its prey, It also has the ability to swallow it whole, which is more efficient than biting the animal and waiting for it to die. Not only that, but constrictors have a much higher success rate when trying to catch prey compared to venomous snakes. Researchers found that 85% of constriction attempts were successful, compared to just 50% of ambush attempts used by venomous snakes. Venomous snakes also sometimes have issues with their venom, such as the venom becoming too diluted or not being lethal enough. But constriction is a foolproof method of killing that doesn't suffer from the same drawbacks. However, being able to use venom does come with some advantages. For one, venomous snakes don't have to expend as much energy because they don't have to physically kill their prey. And this means that they can hold on to their energy reserves for longer and therefore go longer periods of time without needing to eat. Another advantage that venomous snakes have over constrictors is that they don't have to wait until their prey is completely dead before eating it. You see, the venom of most venomous snakes contains enzymes that begin digesting the insides of the snake's prey as soon as it is bitten. This allows the snake to start digesting its meal before it is even completely swallowed. This adaptation allows venomous snakes to save valuable energy and nutrients that would otherwise be wasted. Overall, we'd say that both methods of hunting are equally effective. Neither is better than the other because each comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. Speaking of advantages and disadvantages, did you know that there are advantages and disadvantages to being a subscriber? It's true, you get to see videos early, which means you're not waiting around wondering when the next episode will be released. You also get access to our exclusive community where you can share your thoughts on the topics we cover. Being a subscriber also supports the work that we do here on the channel, which is our passion. Being a non-subscriber is okay, too. If you're a non-subscriber, you can still watch our videos, just with a few more ads. You can also suggest topics for us to cover in future episodes. So what do you think? Which type of snake do you think is more effective at hunting? Venomous snakes or constrictors? Why do you think so? Let us know in the comments below. And thank you for watching.